Radhe Radhe and Namaste. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you who is seated here, as well as our online participants for Bhagavad Gita Summit 2023. This is 4 days event starting today, and the Purnahuti is going to be on Sunday, December 4th. Each day's schedule is on our website, filled with so many variety of programs, including the speakers, esteemed speakers, spiritual leaders, gurus, and also our youth, Bhagavad children, Bhagavad Gita children, and so many variety of cultural programs. Bhagavad Gita Parayan that will take place on Saturday for entire 700 verses. We will be celebrating Bhagavad Gita Jayanti, which falls on December 3rd, Saturday this year. To start the program today, we are going to have Deep Prakatya first, and then Pujan will take place. We have cultural program, and after that inauguration ceremony, keynote speech of Swami Mukundananda ji will be taking place, and right after that we will be having Mahaprasad. We are every day having various seva opportunities. If you wish to participate and be a part of this yajna, you can look out for the details on radhakrishnatemple.net. So let's start with Deep Prakatya. Pandit ji. And please, for Deep Prakatya, we will be having Hitesh ji, Jai Prakash ji, Durga ji, and Shikha ji joining me. Let's just put Shikha on this side. You alternate between that.
Om Chandrama Manasoja Tajakshoho Surja Ajayata Shotradvayascha Pranascha Mukhadaganirajayata Om Shubham Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Dhanasampadam Shatrubuddhe Vinashaya Depajote Namostute Depajote Namostute Depajote Namostute.
We'll see. You can right here. It's what now you have the signal, right? From the gimbal, yeah. Okay. पास आने को बोलना बोल yes.
आइए भगवान का प्रथम दर्शन करें। सभी लोग आंखें बंद करके भगवान राधा और कृष्ण भगवान का सुमिरन करिए। ओम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। बोलिए श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की भगवद गीता जयंती महोत्सव की भगवद गीता महोत्सव जयंती के उपलक्ष्य में आए हुए सभी भक्तों को राधे राधे। हम मिलकर अभी संक्षिप्त भगवान कृष्ण का पूजन करेंगे। उसके बाद में आप लोगों ने पोथी यात्रा भगवद गीता की है, तो उस ग्रंथ का हम पूजन करेंगे जिससे हमारे जीवन में ज्ञान की वृद्धि हो। तो श्रेया जी आप आइए कृपया। सभायाभ्यंतर शुचिः पुंडरीकाक्षाय नमः। गं गणपतये नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। अथ संकल्पः। कुछ भक्तगणों ने सेवा इस गीता जयंती महोत्सव के उपलक्ष्य में सेवा दी है, तो आइए उन सब का नाम भी बोल के भगवान के चरणों में पुष्पांजलि समर्पित करें। ओम विष्णवे नमः। विष्णवे नमः। ओम विष्णवे नमः। ओम तिर्विष्णु सदावारो नक्षत्रं विष्णुरेव जा योगश्च करणं चैव सर्वं विष्णुमयं जगत्। ओम विष्णुर्विष्णुर्विष्णुः श्रीमद्भगवतो महापुरुषस्य विष्णु आज्ञया प्रवर्तमानस्याद्यः ब्रह्मणा द्वितीये परार्धे श्वेतवाराह कल्पे शुभे शोभने कालासनगरान्तर्गल एलान् मध्ये मासोत्तमे मासे उत्तमे मार्गशीर्ष मासे शुक्ले पक्षे परम नवम्यायां तिथौ वासरां निधायां शुभ नक्षत्रे योगे करणे रास्ते चंद्रे ग्रह गुणगण विशेषेण विहितायां शुभ पुण्यतिथौ नाम गोत्रः।
So Bhagavad Gita Summit के ग्रांड स्पॉन्सर्स है किरण एंड परमेश्वरी कली एंड फैमिली, प्रमुख यजमान छाया लोनाकड़ी एंड फैमिली, Mahaprasad sponsor for today Abhaya, Bhavna and Ajay Arora. Yajman for today, each day is Yajman opportunity. It is only available on website and you can sign up at front desk also. Today's Yajmans are Ashit Roy Thakkar, Akshar, Bhagmani Puran, Hasid Anil, Nalini Thili. So these are the Yajmans for Bhagavad Gita Summit.
समस्त दानदातॄणानां गीता जयंती महोत्सवांगे अंगीभूत कृतेन दानः भगवतः राधा कृष्ण मंदिरे चरणकमले अर्पणमास्तु। ओम श्री कृष्णाय नमः। श्री भगवते राधिकाये नमः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराज्यं ब्रह्मणा ब्रह्मणस्पद आरः शृण्वन्नो दिव्यसेदसादनम्। ओम महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री सद्गुरु चरणकमलेभ्यो नमः। पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम श्री बालकृष्णाय नमो नमः। सकल उपचारार्थे पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। ओम कृष्णाय गोपीजनवल्लभाय नमो नमः। हरिः ओम सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सफेदवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणां सहारवक्षस्थलकौस्तुभश्रियं नमामि विष्णु शीर्षां चतुर्भुजां श्रीकृष्णाय नमो नमः श्री भगवते राधिकायै नमो नमः जगदम्बिकायै महालक्ष्मी स्वरूपिण्यै नमो नमः नमस्कारं समर्पयामि हरिः ओम राधा कृष्णाभ्यां नमः पादारविन्दे पाद्यजलं समर्पयामि हस्तयोः अर्घ्यान्तरेण आचमनीयं समर्पयामि तीर्थोदकस्नानं समर्पयामि आपो इष्टामयो भुवस्तानमूर्धे ददातना महेरणाय रक्षिते यो वः शिवनमो रतस्य भाजयते हनः उसतेरिव मातरः तस्मारङ्गमामवो जक्षसया इति न्वद आपो जमेधाचनः तिलकां कस्तूरे तिलकं ददानमण्डले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं नासाग्रे वरमुक्तिकं निरदले वेणुकरे कङ्कणं सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्रे परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि सर्वमङ्गलमङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरे नारायणी नमोस्तुते ओम श्री कृष्णाय नमो नमः कंठे पुष्पमालिकां समर्पयामि धूपं परिकल्पयामि दीपकं संदर्शयामि यथा नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि ओम नाभ्याशीदन्तरिषकुंशेष्णोर्द्योः समवर्तदा पृथिव्यां भूमृदेशः श्रोत्रार्थालोकामकल्पयन्नः ओम प्राणाय नमः ओम अपानाय नमः ओम व्यानाय नमः ओम उदानाय नमः ओम समानाय नमः मध्ये पानीयं समर्पयामि ओम पुनः प्राणाय स्वाहा ओम अपानाय स्वाहा ओम व्यानाय स्वाहा उदानाय स्वाहा ओम समानाय स्वाहा परब्रह्मणे परमात्मने नमः उत्तरापोषणमस्तमुखप्रक्षालनम् आचमनीयजलं समर्पयामि बोलो श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अभी अपने अपने ग्रंथों की सभी लोग पूजा करेंगे। हाँ स्लो चलिए सभी लोग दोनों हाथ जोड़ के वंदन कर अपने ग्रंथ में, ग्रंथ है स्वयं भगवान का एक स्वरूप है। आज उस जिस ग्रंथ में आप देख रहे हो ग्रंथ, वो स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण एक एक अक्षर में अणु अणु में विराजमान है। इसलिए हम लोग ग्रंथ का पूजन करेंगे, भगवान के आशीर्वाद लेंगे। ग्रंथ में सरस्वती भगवती है एवं भगवान कृष्ण का एक एक शब्द जो है ये भगवान का ही अक्षर है। तो हम लोग उस ग्रंथ का पूजन करेंगे। आज के दिन में ऐसे तो एकादशी को भगवद गीता जयंती महोत्सव का प्रॉपर दिन, लेकिन हम 4-5 दिन कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं इस कार्यक्रम को, कि विशेष कार्यक्रम को हम लोग बना रहे हैं। तो इसलिए आज से इसको प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। तो गीता जयंती महोत्सव में भगवान कृष्ण के द्वारा अर्जुन को वहाँ दिल्ली जो आप जानते हैं उसको, उसी जगह पे पांडवों और कौरवों का वहाँ युद्ध हो रहा था। उसी समय कौरव जो को देख के वहाँ मामका पांडवाश्चैव किम कुर्वति संजय, वहाँ धृतराष्ट्र पूछता है। तो वहाँ से 18 अध्याय जो भगवद गीता का है, तो भगवान कृष्ण के द्वारा कहीं कहीं अर्जुन को उपदेश दिया जा रहा है। तो उसी प्रकार हम लोग भी यहाँ सदगुरु के द्वारा, हमारे पूज्य स्वामी जी के द्वारा भगवद गीता का ज्ञान हमें मिल रहा है। तो ऐसे ही ग्रंथ को हम लोग पूजन करके ज्ञान की वृद्धि के लिए ग्रंथ का पूजन करेंगे और ज्ञान की वृद्धि के लिए यहाँ भगवत गीता महोत्सव जयंती के उपलक्ष्य में हम लोग सब एकत्र हुए हैं। तो आइए हम लोग अब भगवान का पूजन करें, दोनों हाथ जोड़ के वंदन करें। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। ओम वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ओम गुरुदेव को वंदन करें। गुरु बिना ज्ञान न उपजे इसलिए कहा जाता है, तो हर हमेशा गुरु को प्रथम याद किया जाता है। तो गुरुदेव को हम वंदन करें। ओम अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। हाथ में पुष्प रखें और आप सब पुष्प और चावल आप सबके पास में है, और ऐसे राइट हैंड में पकड़ते हुए सभी लोग बोलिए ओम विष्णवे नमः। ओम विष्णवे नमः। ओम विष्णवे नमः। विष्णु सदावारो नक्षत्रं विष्णुरेव च योगश्च करणं चैव सर्वं विष्णुमयं जगत्। ग्रह गुणगण विशेषेण विहितायां शुभ पुण्यतिथौ नाम गोत्रः। सभी लोग अपना अपना गोत्र बोलिए। अमुक गोत्रस्य नामने यजमान स्वयं अपना नाम बोलिए। अमुक नामने यजमानो अहम। सभी लोग बोलिए मम आत्मनः श्रुते स्मृते पुराण वेदोक्त शास्त्रोक्त पुण्यफल प्राप्ति अर्थम अस्माकं जीवने ज्ञानवृद्धि अर्थम भगवद गीता जयंती महोत्सव अंगीभूत ग्रंथ पूजनम अहम करिष्ये। उस ग्रंथ के ऊपर जो है आप वो पुष्प चढ़ा दीजिए। सकल उपचारार्थे पुष्पाणि समर्पयामि। उसमें से टीका जो है कुमकुम का अपने मस्तक पे टीका लगा दीजिए, थोड़ा सा जो कुमकुम है। ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम अथ जो भगवद गीता जिन्होंने लिखी है वैसे वेद व्यास जी को हम प्रणाम करते हैं। हरि ओम। हाथ में पुष्प रखिए। जो व्यास जी का हम लोग स्मरण करेंगे। नमोस्तुते व्यास विशाल बुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायत पात्र नेत्र येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमदा प्रदीपः। ओम स व्यासस्वरूपाय नमो नमः। उस ग्रंथ में व्यास भगवान को याद करते हुए पुष्प और चावल चढ़ाइए। व्यासस्त परमात्मने नमो नमः। फिर से हाथ में चावल लीजिए और भगवान कृष्ण का ध्यान करिए। उसी ग्रंथ के अंदर भगवान कृष्ण भगवान का ध्यान करेंगे। ओम श्री पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद् गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। ओम वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। आवाहयामि स्थापयामि प्रतिष्ठापयामि पूजयामि। आपको जो है मोर पीछ लिख दिया गया है, वो आप कुमकुम के लगाइए। कुमकुम के अंदर और आप उसमें टीका लगाने का भाव, राइट हैंड से सभी लोग एक साथ में मोर पीठ से उस ग्रंथ में टीका लगाने के भाव करेंगे। ओम मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ओम यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन रुद्रमरुता स्तवन्ति देवस्तवे वेदे साङ्गमपदक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। मोर पीठ साइड में रख दीजिए और फिर चावल ऑफर करिए उस ग्रंथ को। ओम एदं विष्णुर्वेचग्रामे त्रेधानि दधे पदं समूढं शिवा गोसुरे स्वाहा। ओम कृष्णाय नमो नमः। भगवान कहते हैं गीताया पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठ प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागानि तत्र वे कहा जाता है। जहाँ गीता माने पुस्तक का इस ग्रंथ होता है वहाँ अथवा उसका पाठ होता है वहाँ प्रयाग आदि तीर्थ भी वहाँ आ जाते हैं ऑटोमेटिक, माने इतना गीता जी में पावर है। ओम सर्वे देवाश्च ऋषयो योगिना पन्नगाश्च गोपाला गोपिका वापि नारदो दोक्त पार्षदे सहायो जायते शीघ्रम यत्र गीता प्रवर्तते। वहाँ सर्वदेव भी वहाँ आ जाते हैं, ऋषियों पन्नग योगी इत्यादि गोपाल और गोपिका इत्यादि सब वहाँ भगवत जहाँ गीता जी का पारायण होता हो, जहाँ गीता जी का पठन होता हो या पढ़ाया जाता हो वहाँ स्वयं भगवान के साथ में गोपिका भी वहाँ विराजमान होते हैं। ओम गीताश्रये हम तिष्ठामि गीता में चोत्तमं गृहं गीता ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य त्रैलोक्यान् पालयाम्यहम्। हूँ गीता जी नो आश्रय रहूँ छू, माने मैं गीता जी का आश्रय हूँ, गीता जी मेरा उत्तम घर है भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं, और गीता का ज्ञान का आश्रय करते हुए मैं तीनों लोका का पालन करता हूँ। ओम गीता में परमा विद्या ब्रह्म रूपा न संशयः अर्थमात्राक्षरा नित्या स्वनिर्वाच्या पदात्मिका। ओम बहुत सारी चीजें गीता जी के महात्मा बताइए, समय ना होने की पूरा ग्रंथों के सामने एक आप सब समझते हुए यहाँ ग्रंथ को माला समर्पित की जा रही है। हरि ओम महासेवंतिका बकुलजं भगपाटलाब्धे पुण्यागरादिकर्मे रसाल पुष्पे बिल्वप्रभाल तुलसी दलमालते स्वाम्बूजयामि जगदीश्वर मे प्रसीदः। कंठे पुष्पमालिकां समर्पयामि धूपमाघ्रापयामि दीपकं संदर्शयामि मंगलम् मांसोपचारे धारे विद्यां निवेदयामि। ओम दूरसि दूर्वन्दञ्जोष्मान् दूर्वतिदं दूर्वजं वयं दूर्वामः देवानां शिवानितमग्नो षष्ठितमं बबलितमं ज्येष्ठतमं देवहूतमं धूपं समर्पयामि दीपकं संदर्शयामि। आप लोग सब लोग ऐसे प्रार्थना करो, आप दीप दिखा रहे हो अपने ग्रंथ को। दीपं समर्पयामि यथा मांसोपचारे नैवेद्यम्। ओम प्राणाय नमः पानाय नमः व्यानाय नमः उदानाय नमः ओम समानाय नमः नमस्करोमि। मंगल निराजनम। पुष्प से आरती करेंगे, सभी लोग अपने हाथ में पुष्प ले लीजिए और पुष्प अथवा चावल और से मंत्र आरती करेंगे। ओम जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते। ओम जय भगवद गीते विद्या ब्रह्म परेव जय भगवद गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनी निर्मल मनहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदारिणी सब विधि सुखकारी जय भगवद गीते राग देश विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा भव भयहारिणी तारिणी परमानंद प्रदा जय भगवद गीते जय भगवद गीते ओम जय भगवद गीते। दे दीजिए और वो पुष्प वहीं चढ़ा दीजिए। अब जो भगवद गीता जी का कुछ श्लोकों का जो पारायण हम लोग करेंगे और आप सबके पास में एक प्रति लिख रही है तो हम लोग सब एक स्वर में साथ में बोलेंगे। तो पाठ करने वाले कृपया आगे आ गई पिता बहन और सभी लोग एक स्वर में पढ़ेंगे। सभी लोग व्रत अपने हाथ में ले लीजिए। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मा फलहेतुर्भुः यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेशन्ति ते ज्ञानम् ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः चञ्चलं हि मनः कृष्ण प्रमादे बलवदृढम् तस्याहं निग्रहं मन्ये वायोरिव सुदुष्करम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामेवश्च संशयामि। अन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमवाप्म्यहम् पत्रपुष्पफलं तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्तिपूर्वकमश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः मन्मना भवद्भक्तो मद्याजीवी मां कुरु मामे शिष्यसत्कीर्तिं प्रतिजाने प्रियोऽसि मे सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः। बोलो श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की
We are going to continue the program. There is going to be a little bit of arrangement required here. The books and trays, our volunteers will all of you are welcome to take the books that you have done puja to your home. And if you wish to donate or sponsor any Bhagavad Gita books on this occasion, we are giving away books to many people, even at grocery stores, to the students, to the needies. You are welcome to sponsor Bhagavad Gita books. Each book is $20. For $100, you can sponsor 5 books, and also $100 is also considered 1 day's becoming Yajman Seva. So if you wish to become Yajman for today, you can do that. Or if you wish to sponsor any books on the occasion of Bhagavad Gita Jayanti, the information is on our website, as well as people here present can take care of it at front desk. We are going, and the books that all of you have, it's a gift from the temple. You can take it home with you and get the blessings. We will be having cultural program on the stage, so our volunteers are getting ready. We are going to rearrange the hall a little bit, the chairs in that section, that side. Yes! Let's get ready. Children have worked so hard. They have been behaving so well. I would like to give them a big round of applause. I cannot believe how beautifully they were all participating in puja, while all the adults they were looking at little bit here and little there, but they were having their 100% focus in the programs and in the pujas. Give them a big round of applause. Okay, Ashaji, take it over.
Hello everyone. We are very happy to be with us here today as part of our Bhagavad Gita Summit. Today we are having Nityarpan Academy of Performing Arts. Vandita Mohan, their teacher, is a Tamil Nadu government ELSI Natakam Mantram awardee and a Doordarshan rated artist. She has been trained in Bharatanatyam for the past 25 years. She got an initial training from Padma Shri Chitra Vishweshwaran, followed by advanced lessons under Guru Shiv Kumar and Shailaja. She is also a trained Kathak dancer under Jigyasa Giri. Vandita has been part of many shows with Guru Shobana, Radhika Surjit, Anita Ratnam, Narsimhacharyas and other stalwarts. She is the founder and the artistic director of Nityarpan Academy of Performing Arts in Dallas. The students are first going to start with a Ganesh outcome, followed by Pushpanjali and a Padam on Radha Krishna by Ms. Mohan. Here are the students of Nityarpan Academy.
வினை கெட அருளிய கணபதி ஜெய ஜெய ஹரி திருமருகனை விக்ன விநாயக வினை கெட அருளிய கணபதி ஜெய ஜெய ஹரி திருமருகனை விக்ன விநாயக வினை கெட அருளிய கணபதி ஜெய ஜெய திக்கிட உதர தட ஜய ஜய தே கிட உதர தட கிளோதே கிட உதர தட ஜய ஜய ததி கை துடி கை யானை கற்றவன் தொங்கிட கிடத்தக்க திக்கு தொங்க தேவர்கள் கணபதி திக்கிட கிடத்தக்க திக்கி தொங்க கணபதி கௌத்துவம் கற்றவர் வினய உக்குடுதாம் உக்கிடுதை கதிகை தூதிகை யானை முகத்தவன் தொங்கிட கிடத்தகி திக்கு தொங்க தேவர்கள் கணபதி திக்கிட கிடத்தகி திக்கி தொங்க கணபதி கௌத்துவம் கற்றவர் வினய உக்குடுதாம் உக்குடுதை கதிகை தூதிகை யானை முகத்தவன் தொங்கிட கிடத்தக திக்கு தொங்க தேவர்கள் கணபதி திக்கிட கிடத்தக திக்கி தொங்க கணபதி கௌதுவம் கற்றவர் வினய உக்குடுதா உக்கிடுதை தகுதி குத கீட தொங்கிட கிடதகிடம் தங்கி கிடதகதி கூத்தாம் தததாம் தததா
Jana
తదింగిణతం తదింగిణత తదిత్తం తదనుత్తం తజనుత్తం తదిముత్తం తరితద్దన తజ్జను తద్దిమిత తదింగిణతం తదింగిణతం తదింగిణత తజం 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 తనద్ధన ధన ధనత్త జను 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 జనుత్త ధిమిద్ 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 ధిమిత్త తజం 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 తనద్ధన ధన ధనత్త జను 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 జనుత్త ధిమిద్ 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 ధిమిత్త జం తరి గిట తగ తగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగ జగ తరి గిట తగతాం తగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగతాం గిట్టనంగు తగ జం తరి గిట తగ జగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగ జగ తరి గిట తగతాం జగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగతాం గిట్టనంగు తగ జం తరి గిట తగ జగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగ జగ తరి గిట తగతాం జగ తరి గిట తగతాం గిట తగతాం గిట్టనంగు తగతాం.
ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు దిద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద అంతనింత గొల్లెతల అరచేతి మాణిక్యము పంతమాడే కంసుని పాలివజ్రము. అంతనింత గొల్లెతల అరచేతి మాణిక్యము పంతమాడే కంసుని పాలివజ్రము. అంతనింత గొల్లెతల అరచేతి మాణిక్యము పంతమాడే కంసుని పాలివజ్రము. కాంతుల మూడు లోకాల గరుడ పచ్చ పూస. కాంతుల మూడు లోకాల గరుడ పచ్చ పూస. చింతల మాలోనున్న చిన్ని కృష్ణుడు. చింతల మాలోనున్న చిన్ని కృష్ణుడు. చింతల మాలోనున్న చిన్ని కృష్ణుడు. చింతల మాలోనున్న చిన్ని కృష్ణుడు. ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకి ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకి సూతుడు ముద్దుగారే యశోద ప్రతి కేళి రుక్మిణికి రంగు మోవి పగడము మితి గోవర్ధనపు గోమేధికము రతి కేళి రుక్మిణికి ప్రతి కేళి రుక్మిణికి రంగు మోవి పగడము ఇతి గోవర్ధనపు గోమేధికము ఇతి గోవర్ధనపు గోమేధికము ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు ముద్దుగారే యశోద ముంకిట ముత్యము వీడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు ఇద్దరాని మహిమల దేవకీ సూతుడు
Thank you, Monica. Thank you to students of Vidyarpan Dance Academy. An excellent performance followed by If you have the opportunity to showcase your talent, because we are having the Sanskriti program, it's a huge cultural extravaganza on Friday, January 20th through Sunday, January 23rd. You get another chance to come and showcase all of your talents in multiple on-stage and off-stage contests in either group or solo. The details for registration are on radhakrishnatemple.net/Sanskriti. So inviting all of you all to come and participate and showcase your talents one more time. Thank you everyone for this evening. Let me give the Shaji. Any more announcements? Swamiji's lecture is going to start right now. Thank you everyone.
The JKYog Bhagavad Gita Summit is an annual event that seekers and lovers of knowledge eagerly look forward to. My heartiest welcome to all of you at the 2022 JKYog Bhagavad Gita Summit, and my sincere respect and deepest reverence to the great spiritual masters, spiritual teachers, spiritual gurus who are going to be taking time out from their busy schedules to join us on this platform during this festival to share with us from the wealth of knowledge they have accumulated over a lifetime of study, practice and teaching. My sincere appreciation to all the participants in this program for your deep love for this noble and sacred scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. We look forward to this festival as a feast of knowledge. As Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita himself has said, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra miha vidyate. Arjun, he says, there is nothing as pure in this world as true knowledge. Look at the power of knowledge in any field or any realm of life. Suppose there is a machine that has broken down and stopped working. The workers are tinkering with it, struggling to see how to get it to start again. One engineer comes and with the ability he has achieved through the accumulation of knowledge, he diagnoses one screw is loose in the machine. He takes a screwdriver and tightens it, and the whole machine starts working. Workers may say, so unfair. We struggled here for 1 week without success. You took a screwdriver and mended it in 2 minutes. Well, that is the power of knowledge. I once came across a cartoon. It had a dog that was growling, and there was a cat just a whisker away from it, completely nonchalant and unmoved. Now imagine, next to a dog is a cat, and the cat is not fretting or scared or nervous. Well, the cat was aware there was a collar in the dog's neck and a leash. The dog had no ability to go beyond where it was. With that piece of knowledge, the cat now had become indifferent to its presence. So, this knowledge is beneficial in all spheres of your life. In the professional realm, one gem of wisdom from your mentor can completely leapfrog your career. In the health side, your wellness advisor can give you one health tip that can boost your well-being. In the spiritual field, your teacher of meditation can share with you one little technique that can enable you to succeed in the process. From the Vedic perspective, there are two branches of knowledge in a general categorization. One is material knowledge and the other is spiritual knowledge. The Mundakopanishad has talked about it. Dve vidye veditavye parachaiva paracha. So these two vidyas, aparavidya or material science and paravidya or spiritual science, both of these, as per the Vedas, are necessary to achieve success in life. From material science, you will understand the functioning of external nature and harness its forces for the maintenance and well-being of your body. From spiritual science, you will be able to understand your inner nature and manifest the divinity within yourself. So the Bhagavad Gita, while recognizing the need for both of these branches of knowledge, Natyatšnatastu yogosti na chaikanta manashnatah na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Shri Krishna says, Arjun, if you say material science is useless, I will simply take the names of God from morning till night. It will not work. You will have to tend to your body as well. It is the vehicle for the spiritual journey. So the Bhagavad Gita respects material science, but that is not its objective. It leaves you to get such material knowledge from elsewhere while focusing on spiritual knowledge. In this regard, the Bhagavad Gita is designated in two ways, Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. Brahma Vidya, it is giving us knowledge of the supreme absolute reality behind all creation. And Yoga Shastra, it is giving us the methodology to implement that knowledge in our life, to reach the supreme realization for ourselves. Why is the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita so respected? Well, on one side we have the Gita Dhyanam shlokas, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandana. The verse says that the Upanishads are like the cow and Sri Krishna is like the milkman who is extracting knowledge, the milk of knowledge, and bestowing it upon Arjuna. That Bhagavad Gita is also called Gitopanishad, which means it is accorded the status of the Upanishads. In our Vedic heritage, there are Shrutis and Smritis. The Shrutis are the four Vedas, which are apaurushaya. No human being created them. They are the knowledge energy of God that were manifested by Him. And then there are the Smriti Shastras. These are scriptures written by realized sages who were inspired with knowledge of the absolute truth by the grace of God, and they manifested it in their writings. So the Puranas and the two Itihas, Ramayana and Mahabharata, are Smriti Granths. However, the Bhagavad Gita has the unique distinction of being included in both. As a part of the Mahabharata, it is indeed a Smriti Shastra, and yet because it is directly the word of God, it is also accorded the respect due to the Shrutis, the eternal knowledge of God. Why is this knowledge so sacrosanct and invaluable in this world? Through the ages, the knowledge of humankind has been changing. Books that were written centuries ago have become outdated and irrelevant. Yet the Bhagavad Gita continues to remain evergreen. Every year, scores of books are written based on the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita for managers, Bhagavad Gita for everyday living, Bhagavad Gita for entrepreneurs, Bhagavad Gita for leadership theory. It just goes on and on and on. What enabled the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to retain its perennial relevance with the changing times? The answer is, it is not ascending knowledge, rather it is descending knowledge. There are two kinds of knowledge. One is ascending knowledge and the other is descending knowledge. Ascending knowledge is the nature of scientific knowledge, where scientists by their efforts are expanding the horizons of human knowing from year to year to year. However, that ascending knowledge is first of all limited and finite because the human intellect is limited and finite. And secondly, it is subject to defects. Why? Because human beings are not all-knowing. They can make defects. That is why ascending knowledge keeps getting corrected over time. Take, for example, the Western view of cosmology. Until 600 years ago, the Western world was not even aware that the earth is round. And the commonly held belief was that if you sail too far in a ship, you may reach the edge and fall off. It was only when they understood the earth is round that Christopher Columbus, etc., then sailed off, that we will continue sailing until we reach India. That correction did take place in the knowledge, but the worldview still remained that the earth is the center of the universe. And as far as in the 16th century, Nicholas Copernicus, when he announced the geocentric theory, that no, actually it is the sun which is the center of the universe, people refused to believe him. And a follower of his, Bruno, was burnt at the stake by the Vatican for propounding such heretic views that the earth is not the center of the universe. Later on, the corrections kept getting made. Such are the defects in ascending knowledge, whether they be in the material realm or the spiritual realm. However, we don't have so many centuries in our lifespan to wait until this knowledge reaches a state of perfection. We wish to access the absolute truth today. And what is the way to do that? The simple method is go for descending knowledge, which means you arrive at a perfect source of knowledge. And from there, on day one, you receive understanding of the absolute truth. When you realize the super excellence of the descending process, you then realize the importance of Shastras, Sadhus and Gurus. And then we search out for scriptures and gurus who can bestow ambrosia like understanding of the absolute truth. When it comes to scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, like I said, has a tremendously important position. Let me explain it to you in yet another way. All the kinds of books that are written can be categorized into three: Krit Granth, Smrit Granth and Vinirgat Granth. What is Krit Granth? where a human being will, with all his or her flaws, selfish nature, lust, greed, anger, blemishes, achieved a little higher understanding in some field and published it as a book. Such Krit Granths are produced by the millions every year. Like I said, they have very limited value because you can never be sure whether the knowledge is right or not. One person says paleo diet, the next says keto diet, the third says Mediterranean diet, the fourth says Chinese diet, and the reader says, what is going on? Now, the Vinirgrat Granth. These are scriptures that nobody has created, and yet they exist. The Vedas, Nishvasitabasya Veda. He is the source of them. Hence, because they are not a human creation, the Vedas are called Apaurusheya. Ved Vyas only put down in writing the already existing Vedas. Hence, he is not called Ved Rachayita, but Ved Vyas, the divider of the already existing body of knowledge called the Vedas. Now, the third are the Smrit Granth. This, like I said, are written by God-realized sages who had seen the truth by realization. They were Tattvadarshis, and by the inspiration and blessing of God, they put it down. So in all those Smriti Shastras, the Bhagavad Gita is supremely respected. The word Bhagavad Gita means song of God. What song did God himself sing to Arjuna? That is our Bhagavad Gita. It is also looked on as a manual for life. Human life is a very interesting journey where we encounter difficulties, hardships, challenges, and then we are expected to handle them without any knowledge guidebook to refer to. This is like jumping into the deep end of a pool and being asked to learn how to swim. So the Bhagavad Gita serves as our manual for life. In it, Arjuna encountered a dilemma, an ethical dilemma. What is ethics? It is the application of philosophy in everyday life. So Arjuna was confused about his duty in a particular situation, and he asked Sri Krishna for its resolution. Sri Krishna not only bestowed on Arjuna practical knowledge on what to do in an everyday situation, but also took it as a window through which he showed Arjuna the whole of the absolute truth. And that is why it is also called the Brahma Vidya. What a difference there is between books written by human beings and the song of God. Understand like this. There is one frog living in the well, whose entire experience is limited to the periphery of the well, which is probably about 3 meters in diameter. And there is a frog that comes from the ocean, who has experienced that limitless expanse. Now, if that ocean frog tries to explain the magnitude of the body of water where he has been living, the well frog will never be able to comprehend by his limited intellect. Likewise, when scientists, sociologists, philosophers, psychologists claim knowledge of the absolute truth, and with impudence they take the arrogant stand of rejecting spiritual wisdom, rejecting the presence of the soul and God, they are behaving like the well frogs, Koop Manduk Nyay. What is our experience? Modern science today tells us that this earth on which we live is 7,913 miles in diameter. How much of it have we experienced? This surface on which we are sitting, seeming stationary to us, is actually rotating at the speed of 1,000 miles an hour. But this earth itself is 9 crore 30 lakh miles from the sun. And the earth is rotating around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. We are all moving at 66,000 miles an hour. But the sun itself is not stationary. It is a part of the Milky Way. And do you know that from the center of the Milky Way, the sun is at a distance of 22,500 light years. 22,500 light years, and the sun is moving at a speed of 500,000 miles an hour. So we are in one system which is moving, which is a part of another system which is moving, which is a part of another system which is moving. We are factually moving at 500,000 miles an hour through a cosmos of which we have no knowledge. And cosmology itself says that this sun is a very tiny one in the outer realms of this Milky Way galaxy. Like this galaxy, there are now estimated, it keeps changing every year. I've been following for the last 40 years. Now they say that there are 1 trillion galaxies. Whatever be the case, this is only one universe. Like this are the Devi Bhagavad Puran and other scriptures have said there are innumerable universes. Sankhya chet rajasamasti vishvanam kadachana Brahma Vishnu Shivadinam tatha sankhya vidyate. The Devi Bhagavad Puran, Ved Vyas writes that you may count the specks of dust on the crust of the earth, but you can never count the number of universes in existence. So many. Each universe with 3 governors, 1 Shankar, 1 Brahma and 1 Vishnu. So that when we say God is great, that is how great He is. And the same Almighty God, with His all-knowing supreme intellect, has bestowed upon us this manual for life, which we are calling the Bhagavad Gita. Let us offer our respects to it again and again and again. But the Gita is not merely a manual to do puja and arti of. Sri Krishna explains, Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijanam santarishyasi. Arjun, seat yourself on the boat of knowledge and cross over this ocean of life and death. So we must access the Bhagavad Gita for its knowledge. That knowledge must be received through the medium of a guru. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinah. Arjun, if you want to receive this ambrosia-like divine wisdom, you will need to approach a Tattvadarshi, a God-realized sage who has seen the truth and can then impart knowledge to you by realization. So, what should we do with that knowledge? Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj has written a song, a bhajan about it. He says, Ek kaam ki baat suno man. He says, oh my dear mind, listen to a useful thing. You have listened to so many things thus far. There was a fire, there was a terrorist attack, the economy went up, it came down. But you have never listened to anything useful. Why? If you had, your work would have been done. You would have achieved the ultimate realization. The fact that we are still under Maya means that we are still in ignorance. So he says, listen to something useful today from the Bhagavad Gita. You may say, Swamiji, I have been listening to the Gita. I also listened to the Bhagavad Gita Summit 2021 and the Bhagavad Gita Summit 2020. So how can anybody say I have never listened to divine knowledge? No, you may have listened. The problem was what you heard from one ear, you took it out from the other ear. In other words, you did not accept that knowledge. But when we did not accept it, implement it, hearing in itself does not suffice. Pustakast tuya vidya parahast gatam dhanam karyakale samutpannena sa vidyana tad dhanam. If your knowledge is in the books, or if your wealth is in the hands of others, in times of need, it will be of no use. There was one Panditji, an old lady, used to milk her cow, cross over the river and bring the milk for the temple. But invariably the boatman would come late, she would be delayed. Panditji told her, Budhiya, you need to come earlier. I have need of the milk in the morning itself. She said, Panditji, how can I cross this river? The boatman is not ready until 9 a.m. Panditji casually said, Are Baba, the name of God has such power. By chanting it, people can cross over the ocean of life and death. And you can't cross a simple river? The lady believed what Panditji said. Next morning, she started off, and when she reached the river's edge, she remembered with full faith. She said, I can cross over this river, Jai Sita Ram. And she actually began floating and walked across. She was now coming in time for a week. And Panditji's attention went to that fact. He said, Budhiya, how come you have become punctual in the mornings? She said, Panditji, you told me that by chanting the name of God, I'll be able to cross over. That's what I'm doing. Panditji said, really? Let me try myself as well. He now accompanied the Budhiya to the river. And he said, Jai Sita Ram, but he was flailing with his arms and down he went. When he came up, the old lady said, Panditji, you were also taking the name of God and also trying to save yourself. Did you not have faith that you will be able to walk? You told it to me but did not believe it yourself. There's a difference between Janana and Manana, knowing and believing. So the knowledge that we received from the Gita and other sacred texts, we did not believe it. Or if we did, we believed 1% of it, or 10%, or 50%, or 99.99%. But God's condition is you will need to believe 100%. Yada hevaisha etasmin nudaramantaram kurute atha tasmin bhayam bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, if there's a hair's breadth of gap in your surrender, the work will not be done. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Arjun, the surrender will have to be complete. Then the miracle transformation will take place. If you bring a philosopher's stone, Paras, close to the iron, it will not turn it into gold. Bring it so close there's a hair's breadth of gap, the work will still not be done. When it touches, the Paras will make iron into gold. So because we did not accept the knowledge completely, we need to hear that knowledge again, and then again, and after that again. This is called Shravanam. The Vedas say Avritti Rasakrit Upadeshat. Repeat the Upadeshas of the Shastras. And if somebody says, Swamiji, I've heard it, the same Brahma Jeev Maya is going to be told, what is the need of hearing again? No, you will have to hear it. Have to hear it? Is there some kind of a compulsion? There is. Why? In this matter, we don't have a choice. No matter what happiness we give to our soul, the soul from within will still give the judgment. I have not received, I have not yet experienced the divine bliss I am seeking. I am still thirsty. So the search for happiness will continue. And hence, we need to keep on hearing. This Bhagavad Gita summit will provide us a tremendous opportunity, as some of the greatest spiritual leaders in this world, on the planet Earth, will share from the fountain source of wisdom that exists within them, and so magnanimously permit us to partake of it. Please do not miss the sessions. Attend as many as you can. Now, beyond that, mere hearing will also not complete the task. We will need to keep that knowledge with us. Now, beyond that, mere hearing will also not do the work. The knowledge will become useful when we keep it with us. One lady came to me and said, Swamiji, I am in general a nice person, but I have got one problem. I said, what? There's a lot of anger in me. Can you please give me one gem of wisdom from the Vedic scriptures that will help me manage or maybe even eliminate my anger? I said, Deviji, anger hurts you. You become angry on others, but it resides in you. And it burns your heart and ruins the chemical composition of your blood and the thoughts in your mind. Supposing I gave you a pin and asked you to prick it in your arm, would you do it? No, Swamiji. Likewise, nobody wishes to hurt themselves. So why hurt yourself through anger? The lady said, Swamiji, that is a very precious piece of wisdom you've given me. I said, but Devi ji, it will be no use to you. Why? Because when the attack of anger comes, this knowledge will slip out. You will make the mistake. And later on you will regret, oh my God, what did I do? I knew anger will hurt me. So what happened in the moment? The knowledge slipped away. And tattva vismaranat bhekivat. The moment a human being forgets tattva gyan, the human falls to the level of an animal. Our humaneness is in keeping vivek, keeping this knowledge afresh in our awareness, so we constantly utilize it. There's a story from Indian history of a great scholar who resided in the kingdom of Raja Bhoj. So Raja Bhoj has been a very famous king in Indian history. He had great respect for knowledge. Mahakavi Kalidas, the great poet of Sanskrit literature, was one of the gems in his court. Now this Pandit was also scholarly. When he grew old, he became poor. That poverty corrupted his intellect. He lost focus. The need for money was there. He said, why not go and steal? Where should I steal from? He thought the best place will be the palace of Raja Bhoj himself. So he got into the mahal. Now at night, when all the courtiers began retiring, he went and hid behind a furniture. After an hour, the whole courtroom was empty. Pandit, that scholar, came out and said, let me start. He went around scouting for the treasure house, managed to find it. He could see there the gold biscuits and bricks. He said, problem solved. Even a few of these will be enough for my life. He was about to fill up his pockets when something unexpected started happening. The knowledge he had cultivated in earlier years came streaming back to him. That, look, what are you doing? Don't you remember in the Garud Puran it is stated that stealing gold is one of the 5 Mahapaps, deadly sins. Panditji said, oh my God, I do remember, if you steal gold, in next life you'll go to Kumbhi Pak Narak. No, I can't do this. So he put the gold back and then decided, may as well steal the diamonds, because diamonds are forever. Now he went around looking, he found the diamond casket. He thought a fistful will be enough, but when he grabbed, again he remembered. The Garud Puran had also made mention, if you steal diamonds, you will go to Raurav Narak. The Garud Puran is such a scripture, it will frighten you out of your wits. It talks about 29 kinds of Narak. Panditji decided that stealing is not for me. Let me get out. Now, how to exit from there? There were strong guards at the gate. Raja Bhoj was a powerful king and he was closely guarded. So Panditji thought, I may as well spend the night in the palace. Next morning, when the Chahal Pahal begins, I'll mingle in the public and exit. So where to rest undiscovered through the night? The safest place would be the palace of Raja Bhoj himself. He reached the bedroom, opened the door. Raja Bhoj was lying on his king-size bed, snoring blissfully. Panditji went and lay down underneath. And he also went to sleep. Now, the whole night passed. In the morning, there was a procedure for waking the king up. Brahmins would come, recite Ved mantras, musicians would play on their instruments, women would dance, and singers would sing, the elephants would blow their trumpet. All this began happening in all its majesty to wake him up from his royal slumber. Raja Bhoj moved from Sushupti Avastha to Swapna Avastha to Tandra Avastha. He started yawning, stretching himself, and then he came to Jagrit Avastha. And the thought came to him, how fortunate I am to wake me up. All this is happening. He was also a little bit of a scholar. He started composing a verse. Cheto hara yugataya surido nukula sadbandhava pranaya garbhagirascha bhritya valganti danti nivahas taralasturanga. He was remembering his glories, so many horses, so many elephants, etc. But he got stuck on the third line. The fourth line could not come to him. In the meantime, Panditji also woke up and started thinking, what is this king saying? The king made another attempt, Cheto haraya hara yuvataya, and again got stuck, Valganti danti nivahas taralas turanga. Panditji started thinking, this foolish king is rejoicing in the temporary things of the world. He doesn't realize that one day he'll have to leave it all. The third time the king made an attempt and got stuck on the same line. Panditji could not resist. Being a scholar, to add a line of poetry was like left hand's play for him. Involuntarily he blurted out, Sammilane nayanayor nahi kinchidasti. Oh king, that's all very well, but in your last moment when you close your eyes, nothing will go with you. Now when the king heard that voice, he became startled. I have thought I was alone. Where did this sound come from? Is it God speaking to me? Because there's such poignant wisdom in those words. Nothing will go with you. But if God speaks, the least you expect is the voice will come from above. Akashvani. And this voice has come from below. Is it a Patal Vani that has started? Now the king was terrified. He called his guards, find out where that voice came from. The scholar decided, I'm now in trouble. Before they drag me out, let me reveal myself respectably. He poked his head out. The king said, Your Majesty, I am a known scholar of this kingdom. Unfortunately, poverty ruined my intellect. I had come here to steal. But every time I attempted, the knowledge came to me and prevented me from stealing. So I came and hid here. The king said, you are a very truthful man. But that line you added was so amazing, it has made me detached from the world. Nothing will go with me. My perspective has changed. You are like my guru. The king rewarded him profusely, but the lesson from the story is, knowledge makes such a difference if you keep it with you. Forgetfulness of the knowledge transformed the scholar into a thief. Remembrance of the knowledge transformed the thief into a scholar, and he could not sin. Now this is one piece of knowledge. What about all the knowledge that the Bhagavad Gita offers to us? How will we keep it with us? For that, we now need to do the second thing. The first was Shravanam, the second is Mananam. To contemplate over it again and again. This contemplation is such a powerful thing. One man begins contemplating. I loved that woman, she did not marry me, she married somebody else, I can never become happy in my life. Now there is no point, I cannot live, and committed Atmahatya. Everybody is astonished. You committed suicide, what happened? The power of Chintan, contemplation. Sri Krishna talks about it as the basis of the negative spiral in life. When he says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Bhijayate. He says, Arjun, when you start contemplating happiness in the objects of the senses, the mind becomes attached. From attachment comes desire. From desire comes anger. And anger leads to bewilderment of the memory, which results in ruin of the intellect and the downfall of the soul. And if you wish to counter this, again you will need to do Chintan. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarshanam. Arjun, see the defects in this world. There is birth, disease, old age and death. And contemplate over them again and again. We are not the Buddha. He saw an old man and thought, I will also become old. He saw a sick man and said, I will also become sick. He saw a dead person and thought, oh, this is the end of life. We don't have such phenomenal intellects. So we need to revise that knowledge repeatedly until it sinks in. This is very much like the cow which goes to graze the grass. It grazes for 2 hours and then sits down and keeps on masticating it for hours after that. Takes out of one stomach, chews, puts in second stomach, takes out from there, puts in third stomach, goes on like that. Likewise, it is said that the knowledge you receive during a lecture that is of an hour's duration, you now contemplate over it for another 10 hours. That is what we do with material knowledge. Children, they revise it and revise it and revise it until it's memorized. In India, we used to call it ratte marna. Rattafication means memorize by rote. Why do children do that? Because they value it. They value the grades. They should not get even 1 mark less. In the spiritual realm, we are careless. Swamiji, I heard you 3 years ago when you had come to Phoenix. You think you heard me. I don't think that's the difference between us. Because I feel what you heard, you have forgotten. Only a few emotions remain. I felt very nice. And if I ask you, what did I tell you? I don't know. Hence, first stage is Shravanam and the second stage is Mananam. Contemplate over the gems of wisdom you have received. And then the third stage, if we can do, God realization will happen. What is this third stage? Nididhyasanam. What is Nididhyasanam? With the intellect decide, this is it. That kind of firm decision, establishment of the belief within ourselves in accordance with the knowledge we have heard. The moment Nididhyasanam takes place, nothing else remains. The Kathopanishad states, Astityavopalabdhavyas tattvabhavena chobhayo Astityavopalabdhasya tattvabhava prasidati. It says, the day you will believe in the definition of God, that very day you will become God realized. What does that mean? The definition of God we all know. He is all pervading. He is sitting in our hearts. He is the ocean of bliss. He is an ocean of mercy. All these things we know. He's our true relative. But the point is, do we actually believe that definition? The Vedas are saying, if you can decide in accordance with it, bas, I will meet you. So that decision is the ultimate thing. After all, what did Prahlad have? He was a 5-year-old boy. When Hiranyakashipu said to his servants, take away my son Prahlad, he is worshipping my enemy Vishnu, and kill him. The servants first took Prahlad and they attacked him with weapons. But Prahlad was unfazed. He said, Vishnu shastreshu yushmasau maichasau vyavasthitah daiteyastena satyena makramantva. My Sri Vishnu is residing in these Daitya demons. He is residing in their weapons and also in me. These weapons can do no harm to me. They kept on attacking. Nothing happened to Prahlad. Then we all know they tried to squash him under an elephant. They put him in a pit of snakes. They threw him from a cliff. Prahlad was still untouched. So the famous Leela took place where a fire was burnt and Hiranyakashipu's sister Holika took Prahlad and sat in the fire. She had the boon that fire could not burn her. But sitting there, Prahlad said, Tatesha vahni pavane ritopi namaham dhavyatra samantatoham pashyami padmas taranastritani shitani sarvani disham mukhani. He said, my Sri Vishnu is in every molecule of this fire. It can do nothing to me. It seems to me as if a sheet of lotus flowers is spread over me. And the consequence we all know, Holika got burnt. Prahlad came out intact. Now the Daityas got hold of some Pandits and got them to do a yajna through which a Kritya, a fiend, was created with the intention it should kill Prahlad. The fiend, Kritya, killed all the Pandits. Seeing the dead Pandits, Prahlad was moved by compassion. And he declared, Yatha sarveshu bhuteshu sarvavyapi jagadguruhu Vishnureva tatha sarve jivantvete purohita. He said, if my faith is complete, that my Vishnu is everywhere, sarvavyapi jagadguru, may these Pandits come back to life, like the Agni Pariksha of Sita. If I have not touched any male even in my mind, in my sleep, may Agni Devta give Sakshi. So Prahlad said, if my Vishnu is all pervading, may they come back to life. They became alive. Now Prahlad was carried back to Hiranyakashipu by the Daityas. They said, Maharaj, what kind of a boy this is? We have failed in killing him. It was Hiranyakashipu's turn now to ask, Kwa Sau, where is this Vishnu that you worship? And Prahlad responded, Sir Sarvatra, Father, he is everywhere. But Prahlad pointed to 4 places. He is inside you. He is also within me. He is in this blade of grass and also in the stone pillar. Hiranyakashipu said, God is in a stone pillar. Why can I not see him? Katham stambhena drishyate. He boxed the pillar. and Stambham Tatadhati Balaswa Mushtina. To prove Prahlad's faith, God manifested from the pillar as Nrsimha Bhagavan. Thus, the third step in knowledge is Nididhyasan, to establish the faith, the decision of the intellect within us. This is it. So, as we go through the Bhagavad Gita summit, we will have God-given opportunities by the plenty to do the most beneficial kind of Shravan, and then Manan, and then Nididhyasan. What is the Nididhyasan we need to do? Well, the journey of Bhagavad Gita takes us through many things. Who am I? What is Karma? What is Jnana? What is Bhakti? But it ends out here. The Nididhyasan you need is Bhagavan alone is mine. Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda videva chaham. Arjun, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am Ved Krit, Ved with, Ved Vidya. 3 titles for God. He is the creator of the Vedas. He is Ved with, the knower of the Vedas, and Ved Vedya, who is to be known by the Vedas. So, Sri Krishna has repeated this message again and again. Ananyashchintayanto mam, ananyachetaha satatam, yo mam smarati nityashah. We need to keep cultivating knowledge until we reach the conclusion, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, everywhere is Sri Krishna, and I am His, He is mine. Let us embark on this journey in this JKYog Bhagavad Gita Summit 2022. Once again, my heartiest welcome to all the spiritual teachers and participants, and my gratitude to the JKYog volunteers for their hard work, dedication and devotion in making this happen.